And now, Andrew does everything proudly presents Twentifiverella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Twentifiverella. Twentifiverella had 10 ugly, mean, and wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, and Verona, and Erica. All the 25 of them made Twentifiverella do all the chores and watch her work. 25er wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tina to Erica all together. One day, the king of Queen Vigitubningham's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear! Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Queen Vigitubningham is going to throw a ball with lots of food at 9 o'clock. At 11 o'clock is dance time, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Queen Vigitubling. Can I come?" asks Twentifiverella, but she's not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. Tina and Erica are. "He's going to marry me," said Tina, the oldest stepsister. "No way, Tina, you're wrong. He's going to marry me," said Winona. "Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me," said Elena. The rest said, "All three of you are wrong. He's going to marry me." They then tear Twentifiverella's best party dress. Later, Twentifiverella is so sad, upset, and distraught about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Queen Vigitubling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts her. There now, Twentifiverella. I can help with a bit of magic." And so, she chants the magic words. Quintity, vigitentity, quinto, quantity, vigitantity, quinvoo, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, Twentifiverella's chores are all done, and her best party dress is fixed and grown bigger and better. Twentifiverella says, "I've never seen such a Queen Vigitubble-tastic gown, and get it out of my glass slippers." But Twentifiverella, his fairy godmother's not done yet. She said, "Twentifiverella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Twentifiverella has 25 pumpkins and 50 mice. Twentifiverella's fairy godmother chants the magic words. Quantity, vigitantity, quantity, vigitantity, quinvoo, and waves her magic wand again to turn the 25 pumpkins into a handsome coach, and the 50 mice into horses. Twentifiverella climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, "Have fun, Twentifiverella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before." And so, Twentifiverella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Queen Vigitubling was wondering who he should marry. Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Erica say all together, "He's walking towards me," but he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Queen Vigitubling is walking towards Twentifiverella. "May I have this dance?" asks Queen Vigitubling. To which Twentifiverella responds, "I would be delighted." Prince Queen Vigitubling and Twentifiverella dance happily together. But later, 25Verella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quinvision was so worried that he might never see 25Verella again. The king of Quinvision comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find 20 he said. And so, they began their journey all around the neighborhood to find 25Verella and brought the only glass slipper with them. By the time they arrive, they knock on the door of the house where 25Verella and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 25Verella, they find her 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. Tina to Erica, Prince Quinvision then says, Ladies, my father and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you draw on this glass slipper? Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Winona is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits, she said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the Prince Quinvision and the King and Quinvision hear 25Verella's singing. Prince Quinvision, is that you? 25Verella hollered excitedly. And the glass slipper fits! And 25Verella, Prince Quinvision and the King of Quinvision lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew's Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 55Verella. It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there lived a young woman named 55Verella. 55Verella had 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Fatina, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. Fatima, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. May 55Verella do all the chores. 55er wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said Fatima, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Yvonne, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella all together. One day, the king of 55Ham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, hear ye! The king of 55Ham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quinquadragin. But 55Verella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Fatima, the oldest stepsister. Ivana said, No way, Fatima. He's going to marry me. The rest said, No, he's going to marry me. Later, 55Verella is so sad, distraught, and upset doing chores about not going to the ball and marry Prince Quinquadragin. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts 55Verella by saying, There now, my dear sweet 55Verella. I can help with a bit of magic, and waves her magic wand. And because of that, 55Verella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Fiftifiverella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, Fiftifiverella has 55 pumpkins and 110 mice. Fiftifiverella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 55 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 110 mice into horses, and Fiftifiverella's fairy claws into a gown and crown. Fiftifiverella says, I've never seen such a quinquagintuple-tastic gown. Get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? Fiftifiverella's fairy godmother says, well, you can't. But have fun, Fiftifiverella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. Back to normal. And gives her a clock to tell her what time it is. Fiftifiverella accepted the warning and climbed into the coach. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of 55 says, good evening, everyone. My son, Prince Quinquagintuple, was wondering who he owed to marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Quinquagintuple responds, yes, father. Suddenly, Fiftifiverella arrives just in time for the ball. Fatima, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella say, he's walking towards me! All together, but he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Quinquagintuple is walking towards Fiftifiverella. May I have this dance? asks Prince Quinquagintuple, in which Fiftifiverella responds, I would be delighted. Prince Quinquagintuple and Fiftifiverella dance happily together. But later, as Fiftifiverella checks her clock, it's almost midnight, and so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quinquagintuple is really sad and worried that he might never see Fiftifiverella again. The king of Fiftifiverella comforts him by saying, there now, son. I think we'll be able to find her. And so, the king of 55 and Prince Quinquagintuple began their journey all around 55 to find Fiftifiverella and brought the glass slipper with them. By the time they arrive, they knock. Prince Quinquagintuple knocks on the door of the house where Fiftifiverella and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters live. But instead of Fiftifiverella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. Prince Quinquagintuple then says, ladies, my father and I have a favor to ask. Can you try on this glass slipper? Fatima is first, but her foot is too big. Ivana is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits, she said. The rest are the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Quinquagintuple and the king of 55 noticed Fiftifiverella singing. Prince Quinquagintuple, is that you? She hollered excitedly. Prince Quinquagintuple says, of course it's me. My father and I found you. I love you. Will you marry me? And the glass slipper fits. And so, Fiftifiverella, the king of 55 and Prince Quinquagintuple lived happily ever after. The end. And I bet it was a fun story, right, Andrew Stewart? I've been debating on making some sequels. So, if you want to see maybe someday Fiftifiverella 2, 55 Wishes Come True, tell your friends about it, okay? And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. And have you found your prince or princess? Just let me know, and maybe my Cinderella parodies will come true and become real. Take care, Andrew's doers. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Eightifiverella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Eightifiverella. Eightifiverella had 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, Tasha, Yanina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. All 10 of them made fun of Eightifiverella and made her do all the chores. 85er wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said Eliza to Ella all together. One day, the king of Queen Octogentumlingham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye! The king of Queen Octogentumlingham is going to throw a ball. Whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Queen Octogentumbling. But Eightifiverella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Eliza, the oldest stepsister. Isabella said, No way, Eliza! He's going to marry me! And the rest said, No, he's going to marry me! Later, Eightifiverella is so sad, distraught and upset of doing chores about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Octogentumbling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother rises and comforts Eightifiverella by saying, There, my dear sweet Eightifiverella. I can help a bit of magic. And waves her magic wand. Because of that, Eightifiverella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Eightifiverella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, Eightifiverella has 85 pumpkins and 170 mice. Eightifiverella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 85 pumpkins into a handsome coach, this 170 mice into horses, and then Eightifiverella's ripped clothes into a gown and crown. Eightifiverella says, I've never seen such a Queen Octogentumbling-tastic gown. You get a little of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? Eightifiverella's fairy godmother says, Well, you can't. But have fun, Eightifiverella. But I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before, and gives her a clock to tell her what time it is. And so, Eightifiverella accepted the warning and climbed into the coach. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Queen Octogentumlingham says, Good evening, everyone. My son, Prince Queen Octogentumbling, was ready to marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Queen Octogentumbling responds, Yes, father. Suddenly, Eightifiverella arrives just in time for the ball. Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, Tasha, Yanina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella say, He's walking towards me all together. But he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Queen Octogentumbling He's walking towards Eightifiverella. He then asks, "May I have this dance?" asks Prince Quinaja Toppling, in which Eightifiverella responds, "I would be delighted." Prince Quinaja Toppling and Eightifiverella dance happily together. But later, Eightifiverella checks her clock. It's almost midnight. Because of that, she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quinaja Toppling was really sad and worried that he might never see Eightifiverella again. The king of Quinaja Toppling comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find her." And so, the king of Quinaja Toppling and Prince Quinaja Toppling began their journey all around Quinaja Toppling to find Eightifiverella, and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where Eightifiverella and Prince and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters live. But instead of Eightifiverella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. Prince Quinaja Toppling then says, "Ladies, my father, the king of Quinaja Toppling, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Eliza, the oldest, is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. "Nonsense! It fits!" she said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Quinaja Toppling and the king of Quinaja Toppling noticed Eightifiverella sing. "Your Majesty and Prince Quinaja Toppling, is that you?" she hollered excitedly. Prince Quinaja Toppling says, "Of course it's me. I love you. Will you marry me?" And the glass slipper fits. And so, Prince Quinaja Toppling, the king of Quinaja Toppling, and Eightifiverella lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew's doers. And I've been making some sequels. So if you want to see maybe someday, maybe Eightifiverella 2, 85 Wishes Come True, something like that, doesn't matter. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Knows Everything, and buy our merch at AndrewKnowsEverything.com. Take care. Bye.